A youth brigade of 20 people from the Fox Valley area was in Oslo, Norway, the same day the attacks took place.
The group has since returned safely, but they were within a half-mile of the bomb blast just before it happened. Fox 11's Ben Krumholtz has their story.
A 3-week European brigade was a trip of a lifetime for these 16 Fox Valley teens and their 4 chaperones. But the group's final day in Oslo, Norway might be the most unforgettable.
I never thought that there would be a bomb going off.
The Fox Valley Boys and Girls Brigade was in downtown Oslo, about a half-mile away from where the bomb went off, killing 7 people.
We were fortunate not to be there 10 minutes longer or 15 minutes longer.
Members of the group heard the blast on the way to their hostel, which was just outside the city's downtown.
We actually heard a large boom. We thought it was thunder because it was sort of drizzling all day, but in essence it was the bomb blast that occurred about 20 minutes after we left the city.
Well, I was surprised at first. I didn't think anything would happen in Oslo, Norway.
The feeling that we had been there just a couple of minutes or hours ago, and to see like the street corners and the buildings now in just a chaotic mess on TV was just really shocking but interesting at the same time.
Watching the news in their hostel, the youth brigade also learned of the attack on the youth camp nearby. They say it reminded them of the youth camp they just finished serving at for 10 days in Denmark.
There were just so many similarities between what we had just done.
When we originally saw what happened at the youth camp, we were worried that the parents would think that that was the camp that we went to.
The brigaders' parents back home in the Fox Valley say they were extremely concerned.
While I knew she was in great hands with the chaperones that we know and trust with our children's lives, there was a point there where we had some major knots in our stomachs, and my wife and I talked on the phone instantly, and we had about 5 minutes of our own little terror.
Not long after learning of the blast, the parents received an email from one of the group's chaperones telling them the brigade was safe.
While we were relieved to hear that they were okay in the hostel, we also wanted them back here on U.S. soil as quickly as possible.
The group left Norway the day after the attacks, on time, but amid extra security.
I never felt like I was in danger, but it was weird to think that the youth camp that got attacked, that we were just at a youth camp, and I don't know, it's hard to think of what they were going through and everything.
In Greenville, Ben Krumholtz, Fox 11 News.
Now, the group was only in Oslo for that day before flying back to the United States. The brigade takes an overseas trip every 3 to 5 years. The majority of the group's trip was spent at the Christian-based youth camp in Denmark. A little later, we'll hear from Norwegian students who survived the shooting rampage at the island youth camp. That's still ahead at 9:24.